Hi there, I'm Jamie Glowacki, and if you're new to my channel, I am the author of Oh Crap Potty Training and Oh Crap I Have a Toddler, and I teach parents how to use connection and curiosity in both their parenting and potty training instead of coercion and compliance. Today, let's look at the difference between constipation and withholding, because quite often there's a chicken or the egg situation going on. So constipation can cause withholding and withholding can cause constipation, but usually there's one that's more prominent, and it's much easier to try to catch this in the beginning phases so that one doesn't inadvertently cause the other. So constipation looks like your child is a willing participant. They feel the urge to poop. They'll willingly sit. Sometimes they'll sit for a really long time, but the poop won't come. Now, withholding looks very different. Withholding looks like the child is not a willing participant. It looks like they might have the urge to poop and then their behavior escalates, but they don't want to sit on the potty. It can sometimes look like a fear of the potty itself, but mostly it's the fear of a free release. Remember, kids have had a diaper on since almost the minute they were born. So they're very, very used to a diaper being next to their bum. They're used to having their poop right there. So a free release where it just plops into the potty can be very, very scary. So that's the major difference. Now, if your child is constipated, a lot of parents will run to fiber, but that's not really the best thing. The best thing is to up their fat content. So what happens when we eat a lot of fiber is, as adults, we know we've got to drink like 32 ounces of water, and that will help the fiber bulk up and evacuate, right? But children don't know that, and we can't make a child drink more than they naturally want. So I see things backfire when parents try to up the fiber, especially if they go overboard with like chia seeds and oatmeal. And then I've had clients who gave their kids a Fiber One bar. Nothing against that product, but I tried that and it made me explode. So that's going to cause some gastrointestinal distress. When you up their fat, then it makes it kind of greases the wheels, literally, right? So upping their fat might look like more avocado, extra virgin olive oil on everything, butter. If you get a high quality butter, I like Kerrygold, but I also get some from the local farm. Wherever you can get high quality butter, it's so good. Kids need saturated fat for brain development. Breast milk is saturated fat. So we really want to give them that fat both for brain development, but also it super helps the poop move along. And that is my go-to. Of course, keep their fluids up, give them lots of water. That's the best thing. But again, it's really hard to make a kid drink more than they actually just need in the moment. Now with withholding in the first couple of days, if you see this, a mild stool softener can help if you rush right in. But typically people come to me after their child has been withholding for a very long time. Now, withholding can be very severe. I've worked with kids who can hold their poop for 6 weeks, or it can be very mild. The sooner you get help or help your child not withhold, the easier it is to fix. The longer it goes on, the longer it's going to take to fix. Withholding can get very dramatic. I have had couples on the verge of divorce by the time they come to me because both parents have a different view. Withholding is not your child doing it on purpose. It's a muscular reaction to anxiety, and the anus almost takes on its own sort of personality, and it will just, that's my fake anus. That's what I do when I'm explaining to clients. It clamps down. And I often tell people it's similar to, like, have you ever had to poop and you go into like a multi-stall bathroom in, like, say Target or something? Your butthole kind of clamps up, right? Like, it's really hard sometimes to release when you're feeling anxious or feeling pressure. Now, again, if you can catch this in the very, very early stages, you will need minimal interventions. However, if it starts to get severe, please, 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 you need help. You can get my Pooping Solutions course, and that will be in the description in the link below this video. And you try to address it like almost immediately, because it will only get worse. If you find that your child is perhaps not pooping in the potty and pooping their pants at school or at home, I mean, if they're pooping their pants more than like 2 to 3 times, that quickly becomes a habit. So you want to nip that in the bud. A lot of times people come to me after their child's been pooping their pants every single day for a length of time. And that is really hard to fix because they're essentially just using their pants as a diaper. And so it's really hard to go pantsless in life, right? So that's a hard thing to fix. It's very doable. All withholding is fixable. It's just that you need help. Now, again, these both can cause the other to start to happen. So if your child is withholding, that poop can get sort of dry and it can be harder to pass. If your child has had a bad bout of constipation and has passed a really big poop or a really hard poop, then they might have a little like anus trauma, right? And so their little anus is like, no, thank you. I'm not going to release. That hurt the last time, right? I like to personalize the anus. And then it becomes, then they start to withhold because they're afraid to poop. So in either circumstance, more fat will always help. And positioning. You want to make sure when your child is seated, remember, a lot of kids go from diapers, like they might be holding onto the edge of their crib and squatting, or holding onto a table and squatting, or maybe even pooping standing up. And then we go and put them on potty chairs that are 90-degree angles, and that can kink the anorectic angle, almost like a garden hose, and it can make it harder to release. So make sure if your child is struggling, either constipation, withholding, or you're not sure, you can put some books under their feet to get their knees closer to their chest. Or if they let you, you can come behind them on the potty chair, take their hamstrings, so like that meaty part of the thigh under, right as they're sitting, and pull their knees to their chest, and then sometimes the poop will fly right out. So positioning has a lot to do with it too. So that's the difference between withholding and constipation. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them below. And as always, if you like this, share, subscribe, you know the drill. And I have tons of paid and free resources in the description as well. So I'd love to help you out with those. All right, as always, rock on.